dog culture promotes the same mental illness of pedophilia. The labels example. So I've been checking out some of these studies and looking up this whole thing about labels. So here's the study I'm reading. Let me go over here. These are studies that say humanizing pedophilia as a stigma reduction. So what they're saying is that don't call pedophilia, call it boy lover, girl lover, and a bunch of other things. And this study isn't necessarily telling us to do that. It's telling us what it's studying what people are doing. Okay, so go back to the study that I was reading. Same type of study. So one of the things it says is the positive identity in relation to their sexuality isn't formed properly. So they're saying basically they're sick. As they grew up, no adults around them helped them understand their sexuality. It's talking about them being attracted to children and stuff like that. But there's this whole thing about labels. Oh, just you need to call it this right here. Don't call it this right here. Are you reading that? Can you see that? Instead, you want to say this stuff. This is what this whole minor attracted person push is trying to do. It's trying to say, look, these people are attracted to little kids. They're very sexually immature. They don't understand that they are a human man. They don't understand that they're a human woman. That's what all these psychological studies find out. And they say that the fix for it is to just relabel it instead of understanding the sickness. So what two things are rising in our society? Pedophilia is rising and dog ownership is rising. So is that a direct correlation? I don't know. But this whole thing about the labels, okay? Labels. What does dog culture say? If you're a human man, well, you're a doggy daddy, a fur daddy, you're four-legged sons and daughters. That is not a proper sexual identity to identify yourself as the parent of a fanged predator. When you have children in your home and you say, here's a dog is your brother, a dog is your sister. When you put your kids next to dogs and say, that's your sibling, that's your buddy, that's your friend, and you have them hugging up on these dogs instead of putting them around humans. Humans help us develop our sexual identity, our emotional identity. They help us understand everything, economy, finances, and they help us understand ourselves. You put someone around a dog, they do not properly develop their identity. They're told not to play, not to run, don't raise your hands, don't make too much noise, the dog might bite you. Just sit there and spoil the dog and rub up on it and give it food all day. This whole labels thing that is going on in the minor attracted people, it is exactly the same type of mental sickness, the bypassing biology that dog culture does. There's probably, hundreds of these little doggy daddy, four-legged friend, I'm raising dogs. You don't raise dogs. You buy a dog and you train it and you feed it and it lives on your property. You don't raise it. It does not have a prefrontal lobe. It does not even have a proper sexual identity that is relatable to a human identity. So dog culture, and I'm going to try and prove myself wrong. I'm going to try and prove myself wrong on this, but dog culture and pedophilia have so many things in relation. And there's so many studies out here that are already done. All of this stuff that I've started to notice in society, I went and keyword searched, like the rise in pedophilia. I've keyword searched this stuff, and these massive studies have actually already been done. So that's just my labels example. I just want to talk about that. The labels that they use in this whole pedophilia, you need to start calling them minor attracted people. It's a hell of a lot like dog culture, and I think we should have a look at it. Because putting our kids with dogs and saying that dog is anything other than a dog, it's not healthy for the child's proper emotional, sexual development.